A lot of people comparing Josh Heupel to Lane Kiffin. I thought this just some numbers that people need to pay attention to. Years as a head coach, because they look about the same age, people think, well, they're equal. Nope, Lane Kiffin has 16 years as a head coach. At the Raiders, Tennessee, USC, FAU, Ole Miss. Josh Heupel just in his 8th year. Years at current school, 5 for Heupel, 6 for Kiffin. Look at the ranked opponents, though. In 5 years, Josh Heupel has played 23. In 6 years, Lane Kiffin has only played 19. So a little bit different every year. Heupel's facing a tougher schedule versus ranked foes. Heupel 10-13, Kiffin 10-9, and look at the ranked SEC foes. Doesn't look good, 6-12 versus 7-8. But the difference is how many times you play Alabama and Georgia. You get them both every year, and then you throw in Ohio State. Nobody in the country has played Bama, Georgia, and Ohio State 11 times in the last 5 years, other than Josh Heupel. All right, so you're 2-9 against those. Nobody else has beaten Alabama twice in the last 5 years. So when you look at that, it changes the perspective a little bit. And then losses to unranked foes, you got 7 for Kiffin, 5 for Heupel. I just think there's a little perspective to be had there when you're comparing these two. And also when you're looking at Heupel, well, he loses 2 games a year. Well, if you put Alabama, Georgia, and throw a playoff game against Ohio State on anybody else's schedule, they're probably going to be losing a couple of games a year. Now, if you find up 7-5, I get it. That's a different beast. But I just think people need to keep those numbers in mind, and I don't think they do.
I think it's that, and I also think sometimes you just want a likable coach, one who just goes out there, and Lane goes out there and says what he wants to say, and he tweets what he wants to tweet, and he goes on with Paul Feinbaum and elbows him, and there's that ha-ha back and forth. Josh Heupel just wants to be like, it's whatever, let's go play football.
It'll be interesting to see starting next year, because everybody's going to have a harder schedule, and everybody's going to play everybody else in the SEC every 2 years. Now we're going to see where Heupel is, where Kiffin is, where these guys are, because they're all going to be in this meat grinder. And that's going to give you a truer perspective, because it's not just, well, we play these two every year and they don't.